The goal is simple. Every patient who walks through your door should be worth more to your bottom line than they were before we started. That's it. More money with everyone who walks in. Not by working harder, but by fixing the architecture underneath what you've already built. Here's how we do it. The Cash Practice Accelerator is a private 9-step coaching program that audits your current cash pay practice so you know exactly what to fix and in what order instead of throwing money at the wrong problems. Then it restructures your offer portfolio so every service leads naturally to the next and your existing patients become your biggest revenue stream. It aligns your team so every lead gets followed up on and every patient gets retained and nothing falls through the cracks because someone owns it. And then it replaces expensive, ineffective ad spending with a marketing and retention system that brings in qualified patients and keeps them buying. And ultimately, it builds you a patient acquisition system that brings in pre-qualified people who are ready to say yes. It's not done for you, and it's not a course that you watch alone at midnight. You do the work, and I make sure it's the right work. And when we're done, the whole thing runs without me. Here's why this matters and why most cash pay practices aren't there yet. You built something most physicians only dream about. You got out. You're running cash pay services. Patients are paying you directly. No prior authorizations, no reimbursement battles, no insurance company run by someone who has never examined a patient in their life. You did that. That took guts. So why does it still feel like you're fighting an uphill battle? Here's what most physicians in your position think the problem is. They think that they need more patients or better ads, or they need to finally figure out Instagram. It's none of those things. You don't need more. You need your system to be streamlined to attract, convert, and retain the right patients. And that's a completely different problem with a completely different solution. Let's be specific because I suspect you'll recognize this. Services are running, money's coming in, but the back end is quietly, persistently, impressively chaotic. Your offers have no logical thread connecting them. Patients do a discounted trial session and don't follow through with the package, and then they disappear forever. Your team is excellent and they're doing their best, but leads and follow-ups still fall through the cracks. You've spent money on ads that brought in strangers who took advantage of the single discount session, but definitely could not afford the full treatment package. You might be watching this because you're not even at capacity yet. You just need a reliable, cost-effective way to get the right patients through the door. That's in here too. But even if you filled every slot tomorrow, none of this gets fixed if you haven't got a system to automatically sell them to the next stage of their care. And underneath all of it is a feeling that it's hard to name but impossible to ignore. It feels like you should already be reaping the rewards. Like we said, you did the hard bit already. So why does it have to be so difficult? You were trained to be an exceptional physician, but at no point did anyone say, oh, by the way, you'll also need to be a CEO, an ops manager, a marketing strategist, and a one-person sales team. Good luck with that. The cash pay world is full of people delighted to sell you tactics. A new funnel, better ads, a different booking system, each one promising to be the thing that finally makes it all click, usually for a monthly retainer that makes your eyes water. But here's what those tactics won't tell you. Tactics without structure is just expensive experimentation. And you've probably already run that experiment. You've funded the back end of some guy's Lambo. And you have the receipts, but nothing to show for them. You haven't been failing at cash pay. You've been building without a blueprint. I'm Ellie Clark. My father was a family doctor in England, brilliant physician, genuinely loved his patients. He made the leap to private practice on instinct and grit because nobody gave him a blueprint either. He struggled in ways he absolutely didn't have to, not because he wasn't good enough, but because he was building without a map, throwing money at the wrong problems in the wrong order. All the while, the right patients quietly slipped through the cracks. I watched that and I never forgot it. When I started working with cash pay physicians, I kept seeing the same thing. Smart, capable people who'd been brave enough to make the leap, but bleeding money into marketing that didn't work, sitting on practices with real potential that felt perpetually one problem away from becoming overwhelming. So I built the process he never had. I'm not the hero of this story. You are. You made the leap. You built something real. I'm just the one who shows you where the Death Star's exhaust port is and hands you the targeting system to hit it first time. Think of me as Yoda with spreadsheets and better hair. The problem is almost never the services. It's almost never the physician, and it's almost never the market. It's the underlying structure. In physics, yes, I have an MSci in theoretical physics, which is exactly as useful in medicine as you might imagine. In physics, we talk about initial conditions. Get them wrong, and it doesn't matter how hard you work. The drift, it's built in. Your offer structure, your team, your marketing, your retention, these are all your initial conditions. Some of them are set wrong, not catastrophically, but just enough to create drag. Enough to keep you working harder than the results justify. Enough to keep the right patients from finding you or from staying. Now fix the architecture and everything downstream changes. Every patient who walks through your door becomes worth more to your bottom line than they were before. Every patient who came in for weight loss becomes, say, a hormone optimization patient. The aesthetic patient becomes your membership patient. The revenue impact of getting this right is not subtle. The physicians who scale cash pay practices cleanly aren't smarter than you. They just have the initial conditions in place. And you're about to have them too. Practice Accelerator is a private 9-step coaching program. Here's how it breaks down. Step 1 is the Practice Autopsy. Here you find out exactly what's broken and in what order to fix it. Your team will start to feel relief almost immediately. Step 2, the 360 pulse system. You install a quarterly rhythm where everyone gets to say what's working and what's not working. Nothing festers, nobody's guessing. Everything gets done, even if we have to hire someone for lead follow-ups. Step 3, you design your money map. You rebuild your offer portfolio so that every service leads somewhere and every patient has a natural next step. No more patients disappearing after a discounted trial session or a single course of treatment. Step 4, the pre-launch alignment. Your team are the ones at the coalface. They already know where the problems are. This step leverages their insights, gets their buy-in, and turns them from implementers into invested partners. Step 5, break up with your ads, bro. Here you have the confidence and clarity to stop funding the back end of someone else's Lamborghini and start bringing qualified people through the door. People who want what you offer, who know exactly what to expect and can afford to say yes. Step 6, found in translation. You close the gap between how you talk about your services and how your patients actually decide to buy them. Step 7, your marketing engine. Built once, runs forever. You're a physician. After this step, you get to act like one again. Step 8, amp your retention rate. You build the patient journey that makes your next offer the obvious next step. Here, your system does the selling and you do the medicine. Step 9, install. The Cash Practice Accelerator is a private 9-step coaching program. Here's how it breaks down. Step 1 is the Practice Autopsy. Here you find out exactly what's broken and in what order to fix it. Your team will start to feel relief almost immediately. Step 2, the 360 pulse system. You install a quarterly rhythm where everyone gets to say what's working and what's not working. Nothing festers, nobody's guessing. Everything gets done, even if we have to hire someone for lead follow-ups. Step 3, you design your money map. You rebuild your offer portfolio so that every service leads somewhere and every patient has a natural next step. No more patients disappearing after a discounted trial session or a single course of treatment. Step 4, the pre-launch alignment. Your team are the ones at the coalface. They already know where the problems are. Here's what your practice looks like on the other side of this. You wake up and the revenue picture is clear. Your team is executing without you holding everything together by sheer force of will. Your marketing is bringing in people who are ready to say yes. Your existing patients are moving naturally through your services and worth more to your bottom line every single month. You went from physician/reluctant CEO to just physician. That's what you built this for. Not for unqualified leads who came in on a $100 discount entry point and had no idea what you actually charge and disappeared the moment that they found out. Not for the ad bros who got paid regardless. Not for the follow-ups that fell through the cracks because your office manager was already juggling the day-to-day. You built this to have the practice that makes more money with everyone who walks in the door. Let me ask you something directly. Is the practice you're running right now making the most of every patient who walks in? If the answer is no, you already know what needs to happen next. Click the link below and book a practice diagnostic session. 50 minutes, your practice, your situation, your actual next steps. No pressure, no pitch, and no one trying to upsell you on a retainer that you don't need. Just clarity, which, if we're being honest, is probably what you've been missing the most. Here's the alternative. You keep throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. You keep bleeding money on marketing that brings in the wrong people. Good patients keep slipping through the cracks because nobody owns the follow-up. And the gap between what you're earning and what you could be earning stays frustratingly stable. And the practice you imagined when you made that leap stays just out of reach, despite everything you've already invested and sacrificed. Don't let the architecture be the thing that keeps it from becoming what it's supposed to be. Janeway never accepted a no-win situation. Neither should you. Click the link, book the session. Let's finish what you started.